Okay, everyone good?
Are you ready?
Okay, it's good to get back tomorrow. Live action with fans. I thought in the game Sunday versus Morehouse to have fans there was good, and excited to get back at it tomorrow, and with the crowd in the arena and all those good things. So that's exciting. Look, Miami, Ohio, they're good, man. Coach Owens is a really good coach. He does a good job. I tell you what, and I said this before, one of the things this year is based on, you look at the FCS football and the FBS, you see all these teams in the FCS beating FBS teams, and everyone's making a big stink about it. I'm like, no, go look at their rosters. If you look at their rosters, every one of those FCS teams are older because of the extra year with COVID. And because of that, it's no different in college basketball. You're looking at these teams. I tell everyone, don't look at the name on the front of the jersey. You've got to look at the rosters. In a team like Miami, Ohio, they've got their entire team back, 99.9% of their scoring back. They're older. Coach Owens does a great job. They are really good defensively. I mean, they don't to score on them and to play well against them offensively against their defense, you're going to have to earn it. They don't make mistakes. They are just very fundamentally sound. They've got a lot of good players. They got guys that can score, and they're older. They're an older basketball team. And we know from last year, when you're older, that just makes a big difference. So we're going to have to play really, really well if we're going to want a shot to be successful tomorrow night. Obviously we don't have any film on them from this year. That's maybe the one positive. When you have the whole team back, you have an idea of who they are from watching film from last year, but we don't know what they're doing this year, obviously because both their scrimmage and exhibition game has not been televised, so we just don't know. And but I do know we're going to have to play really well if we want an opportunity to win the game. I just think they're really good defensively, and they run a lot of good stuff offensively, and we'll have to play at a very high level.
Obviously, congratulations.
Thank you, Kelly. Yep.
I imagine your nerves were a little bit high about when the baby was going to come versus when your first game was.
Well, it was interesting. Initially the baby was due on Tuesday, which was tomorrow's game, but I had felt like, if you give birth in the morning, I'll just come to the game in the afternoon, in the evening. And I thought maybe that would work itself out, but I've done this before, but it hadn't been a little bit. So, and then when my wife went to her doctor's appointment on Thursday, and they said, hey, we need to get you in and get moving, and part of it, just because as you get to a certain age, everything becomes a little more higher risk and everything, and so we got to get you moving on this, and I went in there, and I was thinking, if it happened on Tuesday, I don't think I would have been able to coach the game. It would not have happened. I didn't realize it until I was there, because you need the whole 48 hours. Now I was able to get to practice on Saturday and Sunday, but you need the whole time to be there with your wife to help, and then the baby. But I just give a tremendous shout out and credit. I mean, just the nurses are amazing. Nurses are unbelievable. Doctors, unbelievable. Tremendous. They're real heroes. Nurses are heroes. It's just, and then goodness gracious, mothers or women, they are just so tough. They're all of them. I mean, and I always tell our guys, I say this all the time, I don't want to hear about an ankle, a sprained ankle. I just don't want to hear about it anymore. I mean, when you see what people have to do women have to do going through birth. So God bless all mothers and women, and just you're just so darn tough. But again, a tremendous shout out to the doctors and nurses. But I guess he beat the shot clock, is what I would say. For him to be born at the time he did, he beat the shot clock, because otherwise, you're probably right, I would not have been able to coach on Tuesday. So everything worked itself out. Now, depending on the outcome, I don't know. I mean, maybe I would not. We got to make sure we win the game, because otherwise, So I hope we win the game because of that. But it's a tough opener.
Josh, going back to the out-of-conference schedule, Kyle mentioned that the players have talked, and especially the older players, went through what they went through, and that he feels like they put they've gotten more serious about practice leading into the out-of-conference games. And what have you seen from your perspective?
Well, Rod, I mean, we always, I mean, part of it is like our first year. I mean, we started out well in non-conference. We had some good non-conference wins. We started off good. We were an older team. Our second and third year, we were up and down and rocky in the non-conference, and part of that we were a younger team. And it goes back to what I believe in: getting old and staying old is the best recipe, a formula for success for Georgia Tech basketball. That's just what I think. And then you look at last year. I mean, we would have started better, based on the or the year 4. We were a little up and down, but part of that we would have had a couple more wins with Alvarado got injured. However, and I've said this, to be good, you got to get lucky, and part of being lucky is you've got to stay healthy. Your main key guy has got to stay healthy. And I know everyone says, well, next man up, and I get that, but it's easy to say that in the pro sports. In the college sports, it's not always the next man up could be a freshman who hasn't played that maybe that you were thinking was going to be a redshirt candidate, so it's not always the next man up when there's an injury like that. Now, fortunately, we have good depth this year that we've been able to, we have good depth that a guy like Bubba, who we've been counting on, fifth-year senior, who's going to miss the first part of the season because of the torn meniscus. Other guys got to step up, and we're able to have a little more depth on that to be able to cover that. Maybe we got to see once we play the games. But and then last year, I think we would have started better. Just that was on me, the way that we prepared for COVID. Nobody knew how to handle it. I just, like I said, that was strictly on me. So, I mean, we've talked about it, but I just think you have a better chance of being successful, especially early on when you have an older team. And because guys know, Jordan Usher knows, Michael DeVoe knows, Bubba Parm knows he's not playing. Kyle Sturtevant will have a better feel of it now. Even Khalid Moore knows. I mean, Davon Smith, this is his second year in college. Freshman obviously is going to, they don't know. I would also tell you that, it's going to be interesting, and I'm excited about it because we've had 2 games, a scrimmage and an exhibition. But playing without Moses and Alvarado, 2 guys that we really counted and depended on, and to see us how we adjust as we move forward throughout the season, because we're going to be different without both guys. And so being able to adjust to that, both, at the 5 spot, what are we doing defensively, also in the perimeter, and where do we go some different areas. So I think that's going to be an evolution of our team because we relied so much on those 2 guys. And yes, we've played 2 games, but 2 games, one, neither of them count on the record. One was in private, and the other, you're playing in a situation where you're playing everyone and doesn't count on the standings. So that's going to be a course of our season and how we adapt to life without those 2, and that will be interesting for us. And I'm excited to see how we move forward as this team takes kind of its own identity as we move forward.
Can you compare the speed, overall speed of this team versus last year's team?
Yeah, Ken, what I would tell you is I believe one of the things, the advantage of this year's team over last year's team is we're faster and we're quicker. Now, last year, I was playing 6 guys, a lot of minutes. Kyle and Rodney played a few minutes. Well, Kyle played a little more, and then Rodney got in some. But I was playing most guys. So playing that main 6 guys, a lot of minutes. And so we did some different things to make sure that we were, we were in great shape. But we were maybe not as quick on some things as in terms of playing as fast as we want to, but we were really good with our hands defensively, and we didn't turn the ball over. So this year we're quicker and faster, and I think we have a little more depth. But that doesn't. So I don't think we're going to just be able to do like I did last year and just go 6 guys and maybe sprinkle in 7 and 8. I think we'll have a longer rotation. And how does that work itself out? Is that going to be the right way because of our speed and quickness? Can we do some different things defensively than we've had? I've said this 1,000 times. Anyone knows me, I repeat myself. By the way, Saba said this the other day. He did say that, man, Coach repeats himself a lot. However, I do remember everything he says because he says it so many times. So I thought that was a good note. But I will say that 5 years we've had the first team all defense from our 5-man. And 2 of the 5 years have been player of the year defensively. So defensively we've thrived, have survived, and have depended on our defense. In all 5 years, we've gotten better offensively. Every year we have improved. But one thing has been consistent with us is our defense. And, that's going to be our big thing right now is defensively where we're at, not having, those guys in the back shot blocking. So I think it's going to have to be like committee with those 5s, and our guards are going to be really good defensively, our perimeter guys. So that's where I'm going to be really interested to see where we are defensively considering who we lost. More so than offense, it's going to be really come down to defense.
To follow up on that, it seems like with the depth and everything, you would play more man-to-man and less zone and be more of a ball pressure team and a pressing team versus relying on the zone because you don't have a Moses Fred or James Banks or Kendall Hammer in the middle. Is that fair to say?
No, I mean, it's fair to say. I'd also tell you that, part of what we've done in our past was made us unique and different as we've changed a lot. So, we don't want to lose that either, but we got to find what's also is good for us too to make sure that we're maximizing our personnel and our quickness and speed on what's best for us. And as games go on, we'll get a good feel on that as we continue to progress. But yes, that's some of the things with different defenses that we did in the years past. I was also playing a smaller lineup or smaller rotation. And, this year I do feel we can play more guys.
Right. On the same subject, if you go with a deeper rotation, does that allow you maybe to play more pressure defense?
Yeah. I mean, we still got to stick to our principles. I mean, whether you pressure, you sag, you play in the gaps, pack line, in the end, you still got to just get a stop. Whatever it is, it's defense is about effort, playing hard, multiple efforts. So whatever our concepts are, we just still got to get the job done. And we've got to be a good defensive team. And tomorrow's a great test. I mean, Miami Ohio is very good. They're very well coached, as I've said from the beginning. They got a lot of good players, older. We win the game tomorrow. That's a heck of a win. If we're fortunate enough to win the game tomorrow, I'm telling you, that's going to be a great win for us when you look down the road. And it's going to be a darn battle tomorrow night for 40 minutes because they're really good.
Jack known somebody as across Pastner?
I don't know him well. I mean, I know who he is, and I know he's done a really good job at Miami Ohio. His teams have always gotten better. They're very well coached defensively. I mean, they're just very, very sound. I know he's a longtime assistant at Purdue. Obviously, the success that Coach Pastner and Purdue has had. So we don't have like a deep relationship or anything, but from afar, I know Coach Owens just being in the game of basketball, and I know the job that he's done and the type of coach that he is in his program, and they've just gotten better each year. And his teams are really good. They're very well coached, very fundamentally sound in both sides of the basketball.
Basically four new scholarship players. What you've seen from them thus far, have they lived up to what your expectations, I guess?
Yeah, and let me say 2 things on that. One is, I really like our new guys. Bless you, Wiley. I really like our new guys, but they're new, and they're going to have to, when they get in, they're going to produce, got to get the job done. But I really like them. I'm really excited about them. And the second thing, I just want to talk on recruiting, because I know the starting period is this week. I do want to just say in general, one of the things, and I had actually said this. Talked to this is way back in the summer to a booster group, but I said this even in recruiting because if you look at our team, again, you don't know it's because of the new rules, but we are. You could have if you have everyone back, you have 9 scholarship guys plus you got guys like Jermonte Hill and Jelani James who are good players too. So there's not tons of room. However, I did say that we can because of us winning the ACC, we can be more selective in recruiting. But I do think in this recruiting cycle, it's very important for us to do a good job in the portal. Doesn't mean we have to go sign 4 guys in the portal. I don't think that. But we do got to sign we do got to be good in the portal in this class because next year we are losing older guys. So to replace, we need to get some older guys possibly going in for next season. So and so we've had a small group of high school kids we've looked at, have missed on some, been on some recruiting battles. We're still involved with a couple right now, but for the long haul for this season, we have really pinpointed a lot with where we're at for the portal in the spring for this year. Is the way we look at it. Now. Things can change because the way it is. I mean, you hope you have your whole team back, your main, your guys back, your core group. You can still be pretty good next year because and you have another year older, and then you sprinkle in, like I said, a guy or two from the portal. Now, if guys are to transfer, that's a different deal. But I think right now we're in good shape, and I think to really round out the team next season, we're still recruiting some high school kids, but we are really locked in on the portal for this 2022 recruiting class.
Tristan, this last week, dental issue.
He'll miss. Tristan will miss this week as well too, and possibly Monday. He has a real dental issue. So it's if he's not on the bench or anything, that's why he's had some extraction stuff he's got to get done. So it's whenever he can get back. So he will not be on the bench. I don't think he'll be on the bench tomorrow. I know he's not going to play tomorrow. Depending on how he feels will be based on if he's able to come to the game tomorrow. But I doubt it. He's just working with Rich and Eddie. Eddie DeMoss is our new strength coach, interim, who replaced Dan Taylor. So he's just doing the rehab with both those guys.
Would Eric have been the head coach?
Would Revino been if I wasn't coaching? Yeah, I mean he's next in line. Yeah, if I wasn't able to coach, yeah, coach would have taken over, and he's obviously been a head coach before, and I thought I would be able to, Sunday I had the phone literally, waiting for. I told her to call me if you go in labor, I'll just leave the game, and I told Rev that, but. And I didn't know when the baby was coming. It wasn't on my time. It was on the baby's time. So, and I thought all along, yeah, he comes Tuesday morning, whatever, I'll just coach the game. But I would have been wrong on that. So I just did not know. And I think my wife looked at me crazy. She says, no, you're not coaching the game Tuesday if I give birth Tuesday. So everything worked out. He's a good boy to be able to come Thursday, not Tuesday. So.
Just in terms of that, obviously being a new dad yourself, how do you balance this lack of sleep and all the stuff going on in your home and trying to coach at the start of the season? Timing, obviously, probably not planned out, but just how do you kind of approach that?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I mean, it's what are you going to do? But I have everyone knows me a lot. When the baby was born. All the guys were texting me, Coach, are you naming him Motor? So they all want to know if you're going to name him Motor. But so I have a high motor, and yeah, there's been a lot of lack of sleep. Still is a lot of lack of sleep. But I love being around the guys, being around the team. So we'll dive in and keep it moving forward. And I mean, the only day wasn't around was Thursday, the day of the birth. Other than that, everything's been normal. So if there's any time during the season that we don't play as well, blame that on my lack of sleep. Can I use that as an excuse, or is that okay? Or no? Okay.